I hereby promise to begin today to manifest the personal greatness I know lies within me, to improve the quality of my life, to learn more, laugh more, share more, care more, and risk more. I control my personal destiny.
Hello, and thank you for joining our podcast, Hope to Recharge, a show that is designed to bring hope, inspiration, motivation, and some practical tips to those that are battling depression and anxiety, and to those that are supporting loved ones that are going through the journey in this difficult time of depression and anxiety. I'm here to tell you, you are not alone, and we will live beyond depression and anxiety. We will share our stories, one story at a time. In a world of mental health, together is better. I'm your host, Matana. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, and welcome to Hope to Recharge. Today is Thursday, Attitude of Gratitude. And today I have a very special guest, which I think the excitement to get up to this was I was not in the moment, and a lot of the technology went wrong. We really wanted to do this live, and I had to just go with the flow. We both had to go with the flow because we were wasting time trying to figure out Facebook Live. I really wanted to do it live, but I got a confirmation that we will do Facebook Live once we figured it out. But today I didn't want to waste the time, and I really wanted to get deep dive into gratitude with Mr. Paul Cummings. Mr. Paul Cummings, welcome.
I am so glad to be here, and anybody that knows my friend Andy Heck is a friend of mine.
So that's going to lead us into this. How did I meet Mr. Paul Cummings? So about a year ago, I started a mastermind, and I met this phenomenal human being, Andy Heck. Andy Heck could have run the mastermind. He's a phenomenal entrepreneur, phenomenal athlete, phenomenal human being, phenomenal father, phenomenal boss, phenomenal son, husband. He's just all around just a phenomenal human being. And I call him my mentor. Even though I know him for a little bit over a year, but I call him my mentor. And right away when I started in this program, I realized that he's a gold nugget. And
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, I need more of Andy Heck. And one of his specialties is goal setting. He's just so phenomenal with goal setting. And he knew how much I wanted to tap into like setting long-term goals, short-term goals. And we had a bunch of conversations. And one of the groups that Andy is in with me every single day is our gratitude group. Every single day, we post a gratitude list every single day. Once when I was talking to Andy, I said, Andy, please guide me. I think it was the beginning, right before New Year's. I said, Andy, help me with my list. Help me. And he sent me his list. And with the list, he sent me this book. It All Matters. It All Matters is by Mr. Paul Cummings, as you can see. I read it 2 times, and I have different notes that I took along. And Andy told me that Mr. Paul Cummings is his guide to all of his success. So Mr. Paul Cummings has many programs of mindset, setting goals, how to achieve the goals, how to not to stay frozen in the inspiration and the dreams, and how to actually go step by step and fulfill them. And this book is phenomenal. This book, I'm telling you, if you're an entrepreneur or any goal setter or somebody that wants to achieve greatness, grab this book. It All Matters. And it goes step by step. What's so nice about this book, it's not only literature. It actually gives you homework and assignments along the way that you don't get lost in the inspiration. And I'm an inspirational junkie, and I spoke about this a few weeks ago, actually, in a Facebook Live that I did. And I get stuck in the inspiration, and then I don't do the actual steps to go and start achieving greatness and whatever goal I want to set. And this book really helped me. And thank you, Andy, for introducing me to Paul. I want to give the audience a little bit of a background. So Paul, huge entrepreneur, teaches all over the world. He gives classes, does programs, and a year and a half ago. Is it a year and a half, Paul?
Year and 3 months.
A year and 3 months ago, suffered from a stroke. Can I say suffered, or do you want to use a different word?
I was invited to have a stroke, and I decided to respond.
Can you see where this mindset is going?
It was on Mother's Day.
Mm.
Yeah. It was on Mother's Day. I was home with my mother, and 6:30 in the morning. My life was an amazing adventure. I just returned from a worldwide tour of my new book. I had been to London, Manchester, Birmingham, every city in Scotland, Dubai,
Mm.
Dublin, every city in Australia, and I came home to see my mom.
Wow.
My life was just, it was so sell out crowds everywhere, sometimes 5,000 people. I signed so many books. I was just at the height of my career. 37 years as a teacher. Went back to take my mom a cup of coffee, and she said, I'll be up in just a minute. I visited with my dad, who has Alzheimer's and dementia, and I visited with him for a few minutes. And I went out in the den, set my coffee down, turned on ESPN. My life changed. It was about 40 minutes before I was found. I was sitting in a chair, tears running down my face. I was unable to talk. Think about that. When I realized I couldn't say a word, couldn't say a word, but I knew everything that was being said. I couldn't turn left. I couldn't turn right. My mom's caretaker came downstairs. She said, Hey, Paul, do you want some breakfast? I didn't answer her. She stood in front of me and she screamed. She knew something was wrong. So that started my journey. For me, I started teaching really early, 37 years. I have trained people on 6 continents, 79 countries. I've trained 2.5 million people in my lifetime. And I want to say this to anybody that listening. I love to teach. I've had the most blessed life on earth because I was a teacher, not a trainer. There's a big difference. A trainer learns a PowerPoint presentation. They travel 30 miles from home and they give the same speech over and over again. Believe it or not, I've never carried a note in my presentations in my life. I've done 14,000 videos without a note. Teaching from my heart. The student is the man that comes on in people's eyes, where they finally figure out, I got this. I got this. I had it happen with Andy when I taught goal setting. I could say a lot. I have no plaques in my building for me, only my kids. And only my 8 grandkids, my mother and dad. That's what means the most to me. People ask me all the time, when you realize you couldn't talk, I bet you were sad. I bet you were angry. I bet you've been suffered with a great crisis you can never recover from. My doctor told me I would never talk again. He actually didn't tell me. He told my kids while I was listening. He said, no hope. Maybe a word or two. Maybe a word or two. He will never be able to read. He will never be able to write. So I was listening. Yes, I was angry, saying this nonsense to me. Are you kidding me? I'm writing a new book right now. The name of it is The Stroke Didn't Get the Memo.
Oh, I love that. Exactly.
It didn't.
And you're breaking it for everybody else to not get
I
the
hope
memo.
so.
That's
I
your,
hope so, because when I realized I couldn't talk, I want to share something really important. I didn't feel like I needed to get out and teach. I didn't feel like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I have so many speeches booked. If you knew how much I had to refund, telephone book number with the area code
wow.
in refunds
Wow.
because I couldn't speak. I want to say this to you because it's really important. I wanted to say, I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. I love my kids. That's all I wanted to say. That's all.
Wow.
For the first month, 11111. That's all I could say. My son, he walked in my garage, and I sat in my garage. I painted there. I wasn't doing any painting, but he walked in. My son Ryan said, "Dad, I got you something." And I'm embarrassed to hand it to you, but it's a pre-K book. And my son said, "You've got to start somewhere."
Wow.
And he walked out 5 days to say the word sock, sock, sock. So I added one to sock.
Wow.
And aphasia is more prevalent than Parkinson's, more prevalent than MS, more prevalent than cerebral palsy combined.
Wow.
Combined.
Wow.
2 million people have aphasia in the United States alone. 2 million people.
And they never talk again?
If you have money, you're going to bring up another story. If you have money, there are 6 centers that have intensive aphasia treatment that costs $5,000 to $7,000 a week plus lodging, and it's not covered by insurance. Basically, have 6 students at a time. So a very small amount, an infinitesimal amount, have the ability to get well if it works.
If they put in the time like you do.
Well, I'm telling you, I have met people that have gone to these centers 4 and 5 times over 5 years, and they can barely say a sentence or two.
Wow.
And I'm not bragging on me. I'm telling you, the Aphasia Center in St. Petersburg helped me. But what I'm saying, it's criminal that people have lost their language, not their intellect. Can you imagine being able to hear everything, and you know what you know before? You're the same person, and you can't say a word. You're a prisoner in your own mind.
That's hell.
And I'm trying to tell you, the bravest people I have met have aphasia. I could tell you story after story after story. Kayla, Elisa, Mari, Lori, Bo. I can tell so many stories. These people are the bravest people I know. I haven't been through anything.
Wow.
So what? I lost my voice. So what?
Wow.
I lost my ability to read. So what? I lost my ability to write. I lost over $10 million in the last 15 months. It's all stuff. You can't buy what I've gotten back. I got to tell my mom I love her before she died.
Wow.
I am so grateful, so blessed, so, you know, every day I get up, I thank God for the fact that I can find a pulse, I find a pulse and I get to do something for someone that I can help. Give with an open hand and a closed fist.
Wow.
And just give and give and give and serve and serve and serve. It comes back to you. It's a full circle. What you put out comes and hunts you down. I am so glad I had gotten to meet you. We had a great conversation today earlier.
Yes, we did.
All I want to do is spend the rest of my life giving and helping people. And my mom taught me to never, ever, ever quit.
Wow.
Never, ever look at yourself first before you take joy in helping other people.
Wow.
She taught me that kindness looks good on you, and it does. She taught me an attitude of gratitude goes a long way. She taught me that life is difficult first, then slowly you figure it out, or you don't. And when you don't, you dig yourself a rut. You dig it and bury yourself in negativity till you can't see out of the rut.
Wow.
My mom told me a rut is a grave with both ends dug out. Said, son, get out of the rut, fill it in, and do something special with your life.
This was when you couldn't even speak, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, she told me I couldn't say a word, so the first time I have not responded to my mom. She probably like that. My mom and dad both died 10 weeks ago.
Both?
In 3 weeks of each other. Yes.
Were they a love story that they couldn't live apart from each other?
Yes. They were married 66 years. My mom took care of my dad. My mom is an interesting person. She told me, I like you kids, but I was put here to love your father.
Wow. Wow. I can't even process that.
Yeah.
Those are big words to obey
Yes.
by.
Yes.
Wow.
So
did they always have, she sounds like a very, very, very strong-minded person, very passionate about what she believes.
Oh, yeah. My mom didn't go to college, but she read every book known so much. She was the most spiritual person I've ever met, never been to church, but church. And my mom said, if you figure it out, it's all about greeting people with love in your heart. That's the whole Bible, the whole Buddhism. If you greet people with love in your heart,
powerful.
What a wonderful world this is. Yep.
Powerful words, and very important for us to hear nowadays when there's so much
Oh my God.
so much hate and misunderstanding and for unnecessary. We need to remember that because love cures everything.
It does. I really believe that if we would just take a breath, take a deep breath, and learn that we are all, you cut our veins, we all bleed the same color.
Yeah.
And we just need to be a little nicer to each other, Or
get out of our own way sometimes.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we're so so sure of our journey, our way, our thoughts, then we don't even think of, I shouldn't say we, because there are humans that, like your mother and like you, that respect other people and their thoughts, and they love them for being human. But sometimes our opinion gets in the way of love, and it's really sad.
Yeah, I grew up in the South, and my mom and dad, there was no prejudice allowed in my house. I can tell you this. My mom and dad stood up for what was right every time. I had three rules I ran my company by: do what's right, do the best you can do, treat other people the way you would like to be treated every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions.
Woof.
That is the ultimate standard of excellence.
Wow. And I'm sure you did.
I did my best.
Wow. Good. Your mother sounds incredible. And I'm so sad that she passed away, and I won't be able to see her or meet her, but I get to hear the stories from you. And one of the things you mentioned, that she taught you gratitude, that everything in life is based on gratitude and attitude of gratitude, which this segment is attitude of gratitude. Can you give us a little bit of an insight on?
Yeah. I think my mom, just wasn't my mom. My grandfather, I wrote several books about him. He taught me life's a gift, not a game.
Mm.
He taught me enthusiasm is an inside game with an outside reflection.
Mm.
He taught me passion prevails when everything else fails.
Oh, I love that. Can you repeat that?
Passion prevails when everything else fails. Did you know where the word passion comes from? Okay. Pass it on. Pass it on. The ability to take what's inside of you and pass it on to another without needing something back.
Wow.
So if you say the word pass it on and take the T out as across, passion, PASSIO, take the T out, in. From a 16th century philosopher that wrote about that many years ago.
Wow.
My mom also told me you need to take personal responsibility for your individual daily effort in life. Think about that. Personal responsibility for your individual daily effort in life.
Absolutely.
Like when you meet someone for the first time, look at the person and be kind.
Yeah.
Be joyous. Make that person feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Personal responsibility for individual daily effort in sales, in math, in science, and in everything. You have the capacity to do anything. You were born.
Wow. No wonder you came so far in life. She was your cheerleader. She was, or even like she just like off to the races. You just go. Yeah, just go, 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 go.
My butt.
And you were telling me earlier that when you couldn't speak, she said, just, you will speak, and you're going to speak, and you're going to write, and you're going to do it, and start practicing.
Right. She called me up, and she was a little annoyed by all the things the doctor has said and the speech therapist has said. They told me I wouldn't talk, told me I wouldn't read, told me I wouldn't write. And she had had enough. She called me, and I answered the phone, 11111, and she said, listen to me. You are going to talk. You are going to read. You're going to write. I think your best days are yet to come. I believe that there's no way you won't talk again. In 3 months, I said my first paragraph.
Wow.
She said, practice, practice, practice. Every day you practice, you get better. We came up with a philosophy, get lit. Every day, learn something new. Every day, inspire some new action where you give and teach a new strategy and just don't stop.
Right.
Get lit every day.
One of the things that you shared with me earlier, and I want to share it with the audience, which I was blown away. I think I'm going to put a video of what you were like right after you started speaking and what you were before, that people understand. I saw you when you were starting to do the coffee time in the morning, when you were starting to communicate with the world, and how hard it was for you to say every word. And you showed up with a smile.
I always do.
Yes, yes. But one of the things that Paul shared with me today earlier when we were speaking, he said that he wakes up at 4 a.m. every single day, even now when he's talking, and he practices for 4 hours every single day. He's practicing speech. It's not, okay, I'm speaking now, I could stop. Every day, 4 hours. He did it with me for 3 minutes. I thought I was going to lose my mind because I wanted to understand what it means. What does it mean to practice speech? And it's basically learning from scratch how to recall words, what a word means.
How to form a word.
How to form a word.
Every word. I couldn't say any of it.
Right. And then he had to do he said the hardest words were the I and it, the words that come so naturally.
Or functor words. You know, I would write it, but leave it out. And I would say it, but leave it out. I'm going to give you one analogy about aphasia. Really important. You don't understand yet, and I don't criticize you because you don't. But for me to have to talk, I have to think of where I want to start, what verb tense I want to use, where I want to end up. Is it a question? I have to do all that and pray to God I don't get interrupted because I will lose it all. So for me to talk, I have to do all that in real time. What you take for granted every day. I have to say, okay, I want to say this, this and this and this, and pray I don't get interrupted, because if I do, it's all gone. I have to think of it again, and many times I can't. I have aphasia. I have motor apraxia. I have dysarthria. I had to go, all out and get it all.
Right. Wow.
So I just didn't get one thing.
Right.
So I am, every day when I get up, I am so blessed. I hate it when people feel sorry for me because they don't understand. Can I say one thing that's important to me?
Whatever you want is a gift to us.
I have so many friends that have aphasia that I've gotten to know. And the majority of friends leave. They run away. They abandon their friends that have aphasia. Let me finish. Younger people. By the way, the age group in females is getting younger and younger and younger. Males say about the same, but it's getting younger and younger and younger. The majority of the spouses or significant others leave. I had that happen. only 3 weeks after my stroke. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's okay. I'm telling you, the saddest thing is the abandonment of friends, but they don't know what to do. People have never been taught to have the patience that it requires to deal with a person with aphasia. When I walked in Starbucks the first time to order my coffee, I was so excited, but I couldn't say it. So I tried to say it. And this girl rolled her eyes and rolled her eyes. Can you get on with it? And I said, oh, I'm trying so hard. So I took out a piece of paper and handed it to her. But over time, I became really good friends with those people at Starbucks because they finally understood that I had a stroke. You know, you ought to get pulled over in a license checkpoint and have people think you're drunk. Pull you out of a car. That's happened to me. And I was trying to talk and I couldn't. So I carry a card that says to me, I'm not drunk, I have aphasia. It's
you have to.
Oh my God, yes. But I'm not feeling sorry for myself. All I'm trying to say, listen, they don't have enough insurance to cover it. You only get 20 lessons, 50 minutes each if you have aphasia over a whole year. That's not enough to learn to talk. I only learned to talk because I'm stubborn, because I practiced my butt off, and because I had some money. That's not fair. I have made it my mission to provide content and people who need to talk for under $99 a month to people all over the world. I'm about a month away from launching this. We need to do something about it. No one knows about aphasia.
I didn't know about it.
You ever heard the word?
No, I didn't know about it.
So don't feel like the Lone Ranger. Doctors don't know.
Wow. I
had a doctor say to me, well, it's been a year. You should stop mentioning you have aphasia and get on with your life. He was my next door neighbor, by the way.
They should not be doctors, that's for sure.
I know. But I'm going to tell you something. And I'm taking enough of your time. We're going to have a long talk in our Facebook Live because I like you. I like you so much.
I appreciate it.
I can help good people. And any friend of Andy's is a friend of mine. But it's so hard when you realize that, do I look fine to you?
Yes.
Right. I have a brain injury. I have a brain injury. You can't tell it.
Right.
See, Parkinson, you can tell it, but I have a brain injury.
Right.
So people say it's a horrible thing to say. I will say I'm sorry, I forgot to call you back, and it's really hard for me because I have aphasia. People say, oh, I have the same thing. I forget things all the time. So they try to discount a brain injury for being like, and I'm going to say this because it hurts to have to say that because it's so much work for all my friends who have aphasia.
Right.
We don't feel sorry for ourselves. I'm telling you, we would kick someone's butt. We are strong. We are courageous. We get up and we try every day. We have optimism. We have to believe. We have faith. Let your faith be bigger than your fear.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm not trying to get anybody to feel sorry for me. Any of my friends, just be a little patient.
Yeah.
So it's the attitude of gratitude is everything. If you don't wake up every day and look outside and say, what a day. What a day I have been blessed with. 86,400 seconds a day. Manage minutes and moments, and your life becomes magical.
Do you feel that the fact that your mother taught you attitude of gratitude helped you recover so fast?
Yes. You can't learn good things with a negative attitude. You can't absorb it. You don't see the lesson when it comes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have positivity, if you look at life through childlike eyes, go outside, put on your best dress clothes, and go run through a puddle like you did when you were 5 years old. You didn't care. You just were grateful. Yes.
What a lesson. So you're saying live every life like you're 5 years old. Just be grateful that there's a puddle of water. Play, laugh, sing.
Just, you know why? I went down to the basketball court on the ocean right where I live, and I played a pickup game of basketball. 62 years old. My muscles have atrophied, and if I get cut, not a good thing because I bleed nonstop because I'm on so many blood thinners. You know what I said? I said, hey, buddy, bring your A game. Because you know what? I want to live. I don't want to die like I'm, I want to live. Yes. God will take care of me. I want to live.
So for all of us out there that are not struggling with speech, thank God, and we don't have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to prepare for the day of speech like you do. You prepare every single day, every sentence that you say, you prepare. And we have to be, if we're going through whatever, my audience goes through mental health, it's like a brain injury, right? It's a form.
We need to talk about that because I'm an advocate about mental health and depression. We need to revisit.
We're going to do another session on this because I think it's so important, but I want to wrap up and say that we have a form, it's of a brain dysfunction that it tells us that we should be sad or we should be angry. We're not in control of, we want to be happy and we can't, or we want to not be angry and we can't. But you're saying practice makes perfect. Don't say you can't. Practice. You couldn't speak. You could speak. So the gratitude, find something that you could be grateful for. So maybe you're sad today. Maybe you're having a horrible day. Maybe you're under your covers and you just don't have the energy to even lift your hand. Use your eyes, use your ears, use something to be, as you say, look at the pulse. You said, look at your pulse. Be grateful.
Listen to music. Music is the universal language. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Just listen. Yes.
Yeah. So there's so many ways to invite gratitude and create attitude of gratitude. You can have an attitude of poor me, I'm miserable.
Yes.
And you'll stay, as your mother says, you'll be in the rut and you're going to stay in the rut, or you can fill the rut up and get out and create something.
Change your lens. Look at your life upside down for a change and figured it out. You know,
With sense
walk
of
around
humor.
that, like that all day long. And people look at you so funny. So what? It's your life. Live it.
Right, live it. And I my gratitude is bursting. I don't know if I can express it because you gave an plus. We spoke earlier for like 45 minutes. You gave
You
me.
made me cry, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just evoke a certain emotion in me because I know you're a really great person. I can tell. So when I was talking to you about my mom, it was hard. You know, losing my mom was so hard.
I could tell. I could tell. It was so hard that you even stopped for a month to just breathe and be in the sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you couldn't bear the thought that your cheerleader is gone. But I think by you living your life now and pushing every single day, she's smiling. And if you would stop, she would be crying. So as a thank you to your mom for everything she taught you and for like we wouldn't have this conversation if not for your mom and her telling you go get it and you working hard and all these since you're a little boy she's teaching you how to live life to the max and all this book that you wrote, this entire thing you created, I believe, because you had a mom that taught you fundamentals.
A lot of that book, you won't believe this, I wrote that book on my phone, 2 fingers at a time.
Wow.
That entire book.
Yeah. I can't say enough about this book. I can't say enough about this book. And there's so much to practice. Every page has like a practice sheet and it's so refreshing. And then you can look back and see how far you came. I don't want to show you my secrets, but but really like it's such a unique book and you put so much love and effort and a gift to the world by this book. But I believe that you were so blessed by having I don't want to take it away from you because you did do the work. You know, you can have the best leaders and the best role models and the best mentors, but if you don't put in the work, as you said, you stuck in inspiration. I said you stuck in the inspiration. So you took the inspiration and you made a garden of an abundance of knowledge for the world and a gift to the world. And I know you're not going to stop. I know you're going to continue and continue and continue. No one's going to stop you.
Can I ask you one question? When I announce I'm going to have a master class in my new facility, 8 people at a time, I'm going to take 5 days and pour everything I know in them. Are you going to come?
You know I will, as long as it's not on Saturday, because Saturday I do with my family because I'm Orthodox. You know I will. You know I will.
And Lynn's on Friday.
You know I will.
Look forward to having you here. So let's continue. And one thing I want to say before I go, if I can say it, because it took me forever, this hangs all over schools and foreign countries. I wrote it when I was 21 years old on my birthday. I was a little lost. I wanted to be somebody so bad. And I didn't want to, it was money. I wanted to do something to make an impact. So I read a book on military code of conduct. And I said, if it works for the military, it worked for a person. So I went up to Sapphire Valley in North Carolina and rented, and I sat down by a waterfall. And I couldn't find the words. I just sat there for 7-8 hours, didn't write a word. And then it hit me like a song. I hereby promise to begin today to manifest the personal greatness I know lies within me, to improve the quality of my life, to learn more, laugh more, share more, care more, and risk more. I control my personal destiny. And I recognize it is up to me. This is the day in my life I summon the courage to face my fears and turn them into the stepping stones of success. I will be the prisoner of nothing. I am someone special. I will live my life at level 10 every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. That's my creed.
You wrote this when you were 21?
Yes.
And you know it by heart?
Yeah. I was destined to learn it again. I said it in every speaking engagement I ever said, and I was driven to learn it. I had to learn it.
Wow. And you had to relearn it again. You had it down pat, and you had to relearn that whole thing again.
When you come to my retreat, I will let you listen to the recording of my first attempt. You can't understand a word.
Courage, perseverance, never giving up, hope. Yes. Wow. Guys, how incredible is this that we got an hour of Mr. Paul Cummings? Like, wow. I could sit by his side for months and just learn from him.
Come on!
Really, just learn and just take it all in, because it's nuggets. This is what we're here for. This is what it's all about. And Mr. Paul Cummings does say you're allowed to be angry. When he first had his stroke, he was angry. He was mad at God. He was frustrated. Why me? It's not.
Why me?
Not fair. But he, at a certain point, he's like, okay, enough with that. Let's get back to work. So we have to address the pain. We have to address the feeling. We have to feel the feeling in order to move on.
One thing, I hate the words personal pity party. That is used like a cliche. It's not that. It's just when you have everything in your life that you work so hard from absolutely ripped in 5 seconds, away, and you find yourself in an air ambulance going 3 hours away. They're getting paddles out there, and you land, and you have doctors talking about, do we do surgery? And say, hey, can you hear me? Stupid, I can hear you. Don't talk so loud. And they were talking, and I was trying to scream, don't operate. Because I couldn't. Thank God a person walked in that was in charge of this facility and decided not to operate, because I would have expired. The brain bleed was so bad. I am just thankful that I get to do anything. You know, I walk up and down this little town, and I greet everybody. I know everybody in this town, everybody, because I went and met them. I volunteer. I do a social work that I can do. I am living the life I wanted to live. The best days are yet to come. My mom predicted that, and she was right.
Amen.
She was right.
Amen. May you always be of positive inspiration to others. May your speech come easier and easier every single day. May you inspire people to live the now and speak the I love you now. So I want to leave the audience with two things. Two things I want to leave with them. If you enjoyed what we were speaking about, turn to the person next to you and say, I love you, and start practicing it more. Number 2, stop and write 5 things you are grateful for right this minute. Just stop and write it. And if you want to share it and say thank you to Mr. Paul, we'll send an email where you can send it to him.
Paul at paulcummings.com.
paul@paulcummings.com and share the gratitude, because there is no greater thank you that you could do is by you being thankful and grateful, and tell people you love them, even when you're angry, even when you're upset, even when you're depressed, even when you don't have the words. You do. You can open your mouth. You have a voice. Say it.
That's so true. You know, people don't understand the pain of words when you say something really ugly, because a broken bone will go away, but the pain of words never leave. So just stop yourself, restate, and say something in a kind way. You can say something in a kind way that you want to get your point across. It doesn't have to. Nobody should steal someone else's joy.
Absolutely.
Just don't do it, you know?
Not worth it.
No.
Not worth it.
Yeah.
You taught me so much today. And we're good. And I'm looking forward to many more conversations, and maybe we'll share some with the audience, but I'm full of thanks to you.
And thanks to Andy.
Yes.
You know,
thank you, Andy.
He goes all over the world, and he carries my books with him, and he hands them out, not to everybody. I'm going to tell you something you don't know.
What?
I'm telling you, Andy only gives my book to people he feels like will make a difference in this world. So
I'm honored.
I'm telling you, if he handed that book to you, he means it because he thinks you're going to do something special, really special. By the way, you don't know it, but the later it gets, that's why I get up at 4. You should hear me talk at 4 a.m. I sound like I'm almost normal. The longer it goes during the day, the harder it gets. So many people go to bed early, like 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, because they can't talk.
They're wiped out.
I'm doing good, but I'm stumbling a little bit.
You did phenomenal.
Have a good day.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much. And we will be in touch. If anybody wants to get in touch, it's paul@paulcummings.com. Grab the book if you're a doer. If you're not a doer, don't grab the book. It won't do anything.
No. And all my social media is @I am Paul Cummings. @I am Paul Cummings. It all matters. I am Paul Cummings. Okay. All my social media, YouTube channel, everything.
So remember, audience, I love you to everybody that's around you that matters, or even they don't matter. I love you can hurt. And be grateful. Don't forget, be grateful, be grateful, be grateful. Thank you, Paul. Have a great evening, and thank you for giving me so much time.
So much a blessing to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us and taking the time to listen. I really appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe button so you can hear further episodes. If you are listening to us on iTunes, please leave feedback and ratings below. Let us know if there's any topic that you would like to hear from us in the future. Bye till next time.